should we start? It seems like it's 4 p.m. already.
Yep.
Okay. I would probably give a short, how to say, summary or introduction speech concerning this event, and then I would like to give word to our Professor Irina Yaskiv, just let's say for the largest, how to say, introduction and some also information about the TSI in general. But first of all, yes, I would say on behalf of the TSI University, I would like to thank all of you for your, let's say, participation, for agreeing to participate in this event. I would say, I would like to say that this is some sort of tradition already for us, but in order this to become like a real tradition, it should be like a very regular and long-lasting event, and I think it will become in upcoming years, because this is, let's say, the second time that we do such a kind of roundtable discussion dedicated to logistics and supply chain and transportation in general, where I think it's very useful for all of us and for the industries, for the academics and for the students as well, just to exchange about what's happening in the world, in the country, and probably also create some interesting ideas and also topics for further discussions. Very shortly, just let me go through. I've already managed to take a look at the list of participants, and it seems like that everyone who is supposed to be, let's say, the active participant and the speaker is here. The only thing is that we just got information that Ivan Demidov from Food Union might be in delay slightly. I think I cannot see him in the list, but it's not a problem indeed. I think we could start. So in general, yes, myself, I'm Alexander Skotvers. I represent actually both the TSI University, the Bachelor Logistics program, and at the same time the industry as well. So probably in this discussion, I will be more like on the industry side, because from my side, I have, like, let's say, a lot of questions and things to ask and to discuss about what's happening and what is the future of the supply chain and the transportation. But yeah, so yeah, currently I take the position of, let's say, head of sales department in company Jeffco in the Baltic branch. Also, we have Professor Irina Yaskiv, the chairwoman of the board, chief executive director of TSI. And we have also two guests from abroad, from the HZ University from the Netherlands, Bies Fransen van der Putten. Thanks a lot for joining. And yeah, we've been discussing with you a little bit in the beginning of this week. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to see you. And we also have Professor Jakub Dołęcki-Lisiuk from Poland, from Łódź University.
Good afternoon. It's really nice to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your participation. And also we have quite a large list of participants from companies. Let's start with, as I've already mentioned, Ivan Demidov from Food Union, who might probably join us slightly later. And we have also Kirill Yereshenko, the representative from company Mila Logistics.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We have Dmitris Shturman, the representative of Hegelman, Latvia. We have Liana Karpushina from Container Ships Latvia.
Yes, hello everyone. Yes,
Hello.
I'm intermodal manager in Latvia and Estonia, container ships. So it's my second time, and it's nice to see it to be here again.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, so Latvia and Estonia, sure. And we have Sergei Dubinin, sales manager from CMA CGM, Latvia.
Hello to everyone. Nice
Hello.
to meet you.
Okay, so according to the agenda, I would like to give the floor to Professor Irina Yatskev, just to give us introduction and some summary of the university and basically anything that would you like to share or to mention.
Okay, thank you very much, Alexander, for such nice introduction, and good afternoon, everybody. And I'm very happy that we have such a good tradition, that we start such a good tradition, and it's very important for us, for university, because, as you know, university should combine today the main actors, students, teachers, but most important, we need to be very, very active in our collaboration with industry, with business, and not only our academic efforts, but also our research should be to business, to community. That's why such kind of the event very important for us, and welcome to our Transport and Telecommunication Institute, at least virtually. Yes, I want to give you a very short introduction. And sorry if somebody know very well the history, but we are really University of Applied Science with old history. Before we start from 1919, we was you know, military school, and it's strongly connected with aviation in our heart and in our roof also. And in 1960 it was established Riga Civil Aviation Engineering Institute, and in 1999 it was established Transport and Telecommunication Institute, private technical University of Applied Science. And we have a strong tradition, and of course we are private but technical University of Applied Science. And we have all legal status. It means accreditation like academical establishment, accreditation like research establishment. We also accredit our aviation professional center. We have quality system and so on. Very important that before COVID, we had 1 year big events when together with our team, we develop our strategy for 2 years, and we have a very ambitious mission and vision. So in 2020, we developed our strategy for 5 years, and our mission to be the leading private technical university in the Baltic Sea region, and be very active not only in strong academical education, but also in vocational training, in professional course providing, and of course in research and development. And also our ambition to be really international university with a lot of international students and international professors, international researchers. And today we have more than 1,000 alumni, we have more than 300 business partners, we have a lot of partners, Erasmus partners, so, and of course, structure which support all our activities. We have 2 faculty, we have a lot of labs, we have for students, it's very important sports center, library. We have many specific, you know, council. It's promotion council, professional council, and so on. And of course, research and development department support all our activities. And in our strategy, we highlight our international efforts. So we established international relations department, and this department not only support Erasmus+, but also other international activities. Our 2 faculties support 18 program, and by the way, we have full chain of the program from bachelor to PhD for our both faculty. Our engineering faculty include a lot of bachelor and professional program in ICT. And in master, we have also 3 programs in this faculty. And from 2002, we had a PhD program, and during this long way, more than 30 PhD defend in this engineering area in our university. And most important, that was not only our alumni, 50% of our PhD from business. We call them so industrial PhD because they have their idea how to improve something in their industry, in company, in business, and they think about innovation, and we help them in it. Our second faculty, I think more close to your idea of discussion today, is transport and management faculty, and here we also have bachelor program, master program, and before New Year's, we obtained the new license for PhD program, digital economy and business. And Alexander Kotlyar, not only representative of business today, but he also the director of the program Transport and Business Logistics in bachelor level. And my duty also, I am director of the program Transport in Logistics in master level. So we try to be, you know, on the both chair, business and academic. And most important that we start collaboration last 3 years with one of very famous university in UK, in Bristol. It's famous in their digital transformation efforts. They have a lot of program with really good line about Green Deal, about sustainability, ecosystem, and digitalization. And we established 2 years ago first our double degree for computer science, bachelor level, with specialization artificial intelligence. And last summer we validate 2 our master program. One is in aviation management and other in computer science with specialization data analytics and artificial intelligence. And this is the mark of the quality, and we hope that it will be very attractive for students from abroad also, not only for Latvian students. And this year we suggest two new programs in master, and we also suggest the program in distance learning. For example, master in transport and logistics, we suggest in remote mode, and students can change very easy the program, full-time program, face-to-face, to distance mode program. Because due to COVID time, I think it's very important, such flexibility. Then, as I told you, it's very important collaboration for us. We have a lot of partners in educational establishment. Maybe it's not included, sorry, my colleague from Holland and Poland. I include only partners that with us from 1990. It's when we established, during first 2 years, we established collaboration with this university. It's more our, you know, like old partners, I can say, yes. And you can see very famous universities, Sapienza from Roma, Deusta, for example, from Germany. It's very, very advanced in automatization and in logistics, in industry 4.0. It's Fraunhofer in Magdeburg. So it's a university which gives us very important added value in international collaboration. And of course, our partners in industry, you can see only a small part of them, but I am sure that everybody gives us very important added value for our education and research. And we have a lot of labs. Of course, we are more strong in ICT, so we have a lot of labs, robotics, electronic, telecommunications, lab concern prototyping, electronic optical system, and other. But today we know logistic, it's not only management, is a good, it's like, not like coexisting between technology and management. And this is very important when students from logistics, for example, faculty from transport faculty, can join the labs for some small experiment and understand what means, for example, RFID, yes, and know how it happened in reality. We have some specific entity for consulting, and in 2005 we established a specific lab, which are very famous in Latvia in aspect of traffic impact analysis. We collaborate with all municipalities in Latvia, and we provide them consulting how to organize a transport system more correct way, more optimal way. Yes, because we have expert that this expert graduate not only in Latvia but also in Germany, in specific company, very famous PTV, and they certify like high value advanced expert in micro simulation of transport system. Then 2 years ago, in the frame of our strategy, we established specific elements, the clusters. It's research clusters. And during these 2 years, we opened 2 clusters. One of them, data science, artificial intelligence in transportation and logistics. And second one, system modeling. And now we decide not to open this, as I show on my slide, we decide to open another very important for our research strategy, digital economy and business. And the main idea of this cluster to be close to demand of the industry to do applied research. And we try to establish strong link between research and business and prepare for them some interesting pilot research and deep research, and which are very important to their problem solving. Then I only want to show you 2 slides. You can see information about this project in our website. We involve into very strategic research project in European Union. One project which called API Center. This project started 1.5 years ago and has more than 36 partners. It's very balanced consortium where we can see not only university, we can see very famous company like DHL, like DNT, like other big provider, ports, terminals, shipping company, representing shippers. And the main idea of this project to test specific tools, also artificial intelligence, that included in logistics software, so support methodology that will enable all players in global trade and international authorities to cooperate with port, logistic company and shippers. Yes, you can see information about it in our site. And the second project, also very interesting and also strategic, the project which call We Transform. It's about workforce in Europe and how automatization will impact on transport workforce, not only in Europe, in the world. And for example, in June 15, we will have a big workshop in our university where we will discuss this aspect. We will send you also invitation of this on this workshop. And it's our mission, vision to share knowledge in Latvia, best practice in Latvia, and try to invite famous researchers, famous innovator providers to our community. And also I invite you open for industry our research conference, which happens each October. This year conference will be devoted special line artificial intelligence in transportation, and we will have a special session in frame of this project. You can see also information about it in our website. So our gate, our doors, our university open for you, and we absolutely happy when we see a lot of industry representative in our lectures, in our hall. All time we are waiting you and happy to see you and discuss your problem and help you to solve this problem. I think it's our mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I think it would be very interesting, especially for the students and for the visitors of this conference, or those who would decide to see it afterwards. I guess it's a very good opportunity to join and to participate also in the projects. And at the same time, since let's say we have some sort of predefined agenda or predefined plan, I would propose to move further. I will probably briefly explain or describe what are the topics or what are the themes of our discussion today. We have actually 4, let's say, main areas for the discussions. Well, first of all, of course, we have our guests from Poland and from Netherlands. And right now I would like to, let's say, ask you to give us a little bit of the insight, what's happening in your countries and in your universities specifically. And at the same time, we have defined in general, let's say, three main areas for the discussions. The first one would be related to the sustainability and green logistics in general. And under that topic, there are multiple, let's say, questions that we could speak about, or probably you, our dear participants, would like to share something from your side if you already have something prepared. The second one, which is, let's say, very interesting, and I guess it would be also actual for also our students and for ourselves, just to exchange information. It's about the current market conditions. Let's say the transformation of supply chain, some main trends in logistics and transportation and supply chains. I mean, how the market is changing, what's happening with the capacities, with the supplies, with the behavior of logistics service providers and companies, etc. And last but not least, what is also very important is to exchange information about the skills and the competences that are expected from students or from young logistics experts, professionals that are about to become the part of, let's say, logistics world. Yeah, has something changed since last 1 or 2 years? What would be your opinion on this topic, etc.? But first of all, as I said, probably we could start with our guests from the universities. So Bees, I know that we have discussed with you early this week that you would prefer, how to say, to be the first speaker in this case. I hope it's okay for everyone. And as I remember, you've mentioned that you have some interesting projects implemented in your university country on the port area, also related to the sustainability. It would be really interesting to hear and to learn about that. Okay, so
shall I share my screen?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I briefly want to also introduce myself. My name is Bies. I'm a part-time lecturer. I started 2 years ago on the Hogeschool Zeeland University, which was my old university as well back in those days. So I'm a part-time lecturer on the Department of Logistic Engineering, and the other half of my life I am working as a marketeer, and I help companies with their digital transition, with the help of smart technology, AI-based and machine learning-based. and I help them to, to optimize demand forecasting and their demand forecasting, which has a in a sense a logistic angle as well. So demand forecasting and pricing strategies. But in Vlissingen, where my university is based, I work for the logistic engineering department, and that's fun to do. Just to make the bridge between students, to coach them, and to help them also after the studies to have a good match with what the business world is demanding for. So when it comes to, so I first want to tell a little bit about my university, what we're doing, the program we run, and then I have a example of our lectorate where we have a project which is related to sustainability. It is called Zero Emission. So it's the energy transition. And then I will close my presentation. So logistics engineering, it's the Hazard University of Applied Sciences has a lot of studies from business, nursing, technical studies, but also logistics engineering. Logistic engineering, is all about taking care of optimizing and coordinating the logistic process. It's about the right products, the right place, right time, coordination with all the parties that are involved in the supply chain. So logistic engineering, this is the topic. And then we have sort of three flavors. So we have maritime logistics, which is of course all about the management of goods in and through ports and shipping. Maritime angle. We have the supply chain management course, which is of course about optimizing and designing and the control of the entire flow of goods, from product to customer, with all the parties involved. Supply chain management and human logistic management. That's of course with the focus on people, organizing and managing logistics when it comes to people. You can think about events, or about tourism industry, or about humanitarian logistics, which is also well, that's the three flavors we have. And yeah, so our program is, we have a 3 years program, well actually 4, but it's 3 years students are in school, and the 4th year they will find their way, well they graduate of course, and find their way to the job market. So if you look at our program, how it is built up, so it is really demand focused. So what you see in the first year, we focus on, for example, the role of being a transport specialist. So what is then key? And then we develop the program around that specific role. It's about intermodal transport, as you can see, logistic finance, supply chain finance is an important topic then. And so we have different roles. The data center engineer, it's all about warehouses and data management, making information out of data and analyzing it, and optimize the processes. We have event organizer, so we have some in the 2nd year as well. Other roles come in. And like production planner, which is really fun. Then the whole program is focused on production planning, and well, as you can see, there's many more. And we do that by, of course, learning and teaching about theories, but most of the time, every subject we do is really closely tied up to companies that are sponsoring those lectures, and come up with cases, real life cases. Which is very valuable. We have also strong ties with the Zeeland area where we are in, with all the companies and businesses there in transportation and logistics. and that is very helpful. You know, students learn a lot from that. You know, only being in school and, you know, follow lectures and teachers that are clicking slides. It's about sharing knowledge from what's happening in real life logistics by letting companies tell them about their experiences, and that's very valuable. We also have many games. We play company games, business games with the students. So there's a lot of practicality in it. There's a lot of practice in it. And then the third year, you know, people also do internships actually also during the second year and the third year. You do internships, and you can follow minors. You can follow minors in a foreign university. You know, you can do it abroad. You can do it with us in Zeeland. We have a minor in supply chain innovation or international marketing and relations. There's various minors you can follow with us and abroad. But also you could help the lectorate in our university that is doing a lot of researches and projects, and there you can do research as well. And then the fourth year, as it says, there is a graduation intern, and also you are the first half year of the last year, so to say. There's a wrap up from everything, yeah, for example, also when it comes to sustainability, we have a half-year course in sustainable supply chains to prepare them also on what is in relation to, you know, the sustainable world we're living in. And then finally they graduate. And there's, of course, lots of international opportunities for internships with other universities, but also with companies. And as I said, we do a lot of research with our lectorate, where we have like 10 lectors working together with companies in our area to do research and to help them with innovations and with all sorts of problems they see, challenges they have to overcome, and that's where our lectorate comes in. Yeah, I even think we have a double sort of degree with TSI. You know, I'm standing in, my colleague would have done this presentation, but Roy, Irina, I think you know him pretty well. I don't know exactly what it means. Maybe, well, you could say a few sentences about that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good time for starting a discussion, but of course, we started only this year. We had 2 years history about it, but I'm thanks Alexander Kotler and all team from your university that we move it very quickly.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so what I want to discuss with you also is, and that's interesting for, let's say, also the students that are listening, but also for the businesses and the discussion later on. We have this zero emission logistics project that is done by the lectorate from our university, and the lectorate is the lectorate of supply chain innovation, and they are attached to our bachelor program. They are the researchers, so to say. And what we did is we have this zero emission logistic project, which is, of course, sustainability. It's strongly tied up to sustainability, and with sustainability, we have to, you know, to rethink. We have to rethink our business models. Whereas in former years, you know, we were very much linear oriented. Yeah. So you know, you buy resource, or you source raw materials, you produce something, you move it, you buy it, people consume it, and then when it's end of life, it's actually ending up in landfills.
Yes,
And that's- Sorry? Yeah, so that's linear way of thinking, and of course we have to go to this. We are living in a circular economy, yeah? So you have to think in a different way. You can't end up in landfills anymore. So you have to recycle. If something is end of life, you have to think about how to cope with that and recycle it and to reuse it again. So Zero Emission Project was a project that we did with local companies in Zeeland, transportation companies, and we were helping them to implement this zero emission paragraph that we all have to well, we're facing that all together. The 2030 and the 2050 Paris Agreement that we made on reducing CO2 emissions. And so there's like 30 companies involved, and we are helping them with their energy transition by, by sensibilizing to make them aware of that this is happening and what the impact is on their daily business. Whereas you now drive in diesel engines or petrol engine vehicles, and you have to sort of rethink that because it's polluting, and we have to reduce this emission. So what then is I think how then so what to do about that? What's the alternative? And that's of course with electricity. Yeah, so we are developing a roadmap to help them out, and also in Zeeland, in the province of Zeeland, we have to also think and rethink the load and tank infrastructure. So in Zeeland, in particularly, we have a very low density network. The distances in Zeeland are quite big because we have this island structure in our province. And there's limited possibilities to set up with hinterland connections. So we have to redevelop load and tank infrastructure in Zeeland from a collective basis. So what we did is we really offered them consultation. And we help them to implement this zero emission strategy and help to see, okay, so what is changing, going from driving diesel cars to electrical cars? Can you do your transport that you do on a daily basis? Can you do that on electricity? So to say, with a battery-driven vehicle instead of diesel. So we delivered all kinds of models. We do a business scan, and we have a knowledge point, we set up a knowledge platform to help them, and even we provide them a pool of cars so that they can really in practice start driving their routes, their daily routes, and then see what the big challenges are, so to say. So that's what we did, and also, tank and load and tank infrastructure is an issue then. So are you gonna have the load and tank infrastructure in your own company? Are you using solar panels on your roofs, on your property, or do you centralize that, all those infrastructure? We're also collaborate with other companies, with those companies to helping them to make that transition happen. And besides this zero emission project, we also do projects on robotica and about autonomous transport, 5G blueprint. So there's all sorts of these innovative, sustainable upcoming issues that we are all facing. We are, collaborate with businesses and our research center, our lectorate at the HZ University. So that's an example of how we prepare students on this, in this case, the zero emission question we have to face. And this is about our university again. That's more a student orientation, but I would say our university is a good university. We are in the top 3 for middle universities in the Netherlands for over 11 years now. We have a strong focus on coaching students. Every student has a coach, so we really help you as a student to make your student career, to make that a success. So that's what we are well known of, and it's a nice area. We have research centers, we have lots of libraries, lots of interesting angles with the business field as well. So that's where I want to close my presentation with now.
Thanks a lot. I think it was very interesting project, and this is something that definitely should be done and performed, especially by the engineering program, by the engineering university. I just noted one question regarding this. You just mentioned about the consultations that you did to the companies. Do you involve somehow students? Who are those people who do the project and the consultations? So there's, let's say, lecturers, some external experts, students. Could you describe a little bit?
Yeah, so one of these elements is a business scan. So students can do that business scan with a particular company. They go into that company, they are sit down with the people there and see how they could so you have a current situation which is driving and polluting by diesel cars, with diesel cars, and now you have to go from there to a cleaner way of organizing your transport. So then there's issues like, okay, but now I'm driving around in Zeeland the whole day, let's say 400 kilometers a day or 200 kilometers. Can I do the same routes that I have to ride on a daily basis? Can I do that on an alternative energy, and electricity in this case, or maybe hydrogen? And then students do that company scan, and it's very well, they learn from it. Companies learn from it. It's new for all of us, but we are sort of giving them insights of how it could work in future. And we developed this business scan for companies, and they can also, in this central pool, we have various electrical vehicles, and they can drive in it. So you have to learn to drive in electric cars. It's new. You drive them in a different way than a diesel car, and you have to to do your daily planning. You have to bear in mind, okay, how many kilometers could I drive, and if I'm empty, how I'm going to deal with that? Where can I load my batteries again? Do I do that? Well, etc., etc. And then technology, of course, is developing very fast. So it changes every 2 to 3 months. There's improvements in battery packages. There's a load and infrastructure coming in our area as well. So and then what does it cost? So you have to rethink the whole total cost of ownership, for example, you know, the old school vehicles and the new vehicles, hydrogen and electricity. So we developed a total cost of ownership model for that, which will help companies. They get insight in costs and so on.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Really appreciate it. Okay, good. So I then suggest to move further. So there, Jakub, he was a representative of university from Poland, and basically, in terms of logistics and transportation in Europe, I would say that Poland is one of the key players. Basically, if you look at the market, for example, carriers, basically there are those who have very significant impact and the influence on the transportation in general because of the capacities, etc. Would you probably like to share your view, your position? It would be really nice to hear about your university, your program in general. Are there any projects recently implemented? What's your cooperation with industry?
Yes, thank you very much, Alexander. It's really nice to be with you guys, and it's a big pleasure for me. Honestly speaking, BIS France, let's say, set the bar pretty high for me because I was preparing myself for sharing with you more a case study with a particular general problem that is visible, but came out in Poland, in Polish logistics sector, for Polish logistics sector after February 24th this year. However, I also, of course, can briefly give you information about the University of Łódź that I am representing. I do work in the Department of Logistics and Innovation. It's funny because we do have two logistics as an offer for students at our university. One is on the Faculty of Management, and second one is on a Faculty of Economics and Sociology, which I represent. So University of Łódź, the third biggest town in Poland, located directly in the center of Poland, in the middle of Poland. We've got the same distance from Łódź to the Baltic Sea in Gdańsk, the same distance to the south, the border with Czech Republic and Slovakia, and proximately we are a bit closer to the eastern border, but we are located in that place where two main corridors are being crossed in Poland. University of Łódź is one of the biggest one. We do have over 30,000, 32,000 of students, and at the Faculty of Economics and Sociology, we do have over 5,000 students. So of course on over 30 different specialities. However, the logistics in nowadays economy, those are those courses that are that are offered to our students, to our clients, we would say, as long as the universities are also a part of the market at the moment. Logistics is something that is pretty popular. We do not have a problem with the candidates for studies. It's a first and second degree, obviously. However, honestly speaking, we might have some problem with the quality of the students. I hope I will not touch unpleasant subject for anybody. However, sometimes I've got an impression that the knowledge the general knowledge of what is going on nowadays are not really common for young generation. And unfortunately, as active didactic, I can say that last 2 years was made an extra challenge for us academics who works with young generation to prove them how important has the we called it social competences. So the ability, the opportunity, being ready to cooperate, to be open for what is needed from the point of view of potential company that might hire our students. However, let me present shortly the case study that I think might be interesting, and I also got some problem with that because I find geopolitical implications and the geopolitics, like the general objective to analyze the logistics, the international exchange, the international affairs, generally speaking, as something really important. And I do have a problem with that because all of us know geopolitical school of Germany, of Austria, of Russia, of France, of United Kingdom, for example. But geopolitical implications here in Central Europe, I guess for mostly all of us, or all of us might be really difficult to catch it from the point of view of nowadays science. So what I was wondering is how the Poland is, and the Polish logistics sector, which is, as you mentioned, Alexander, used to and still take a big part of logistics services in Europe, together with Lithuania and Romania, for example. In road transport, we are still a big market for the drivers and the road transport operations. Doesn't matter what the mobility mobility of drivers and the law has been implemented earlier this year. We are still pretty okay with what is going on. However, I think that for the country that supposed to be some kind of connecting link between the eastern and western part of Europe, doesn't matter how we will call our region, we're supposed to be more prepared for what is going on. So I hope you see that illustration intermarium, because I'm in a regime of presentation, so I can just see my own screen. So I hope you see it.
At least myself, no. I can see you. I cannot see the screen. I don't know.
Okay,
how about others.
okay. So just a second. I hope. Okay, so you saw just me. Thank you very much. And I was sure that okay. Anyway, so over 3 million people moved to Poland from Ukraine after the end of February. We, of course, we are happy. We are all Slavic, and we are happy to provide all necessary support for our neighbors. But from the point of view of logistics sector, we are, honestly speaking, not really prepared, because as the situation present, while we do have the blockade of Ukrainian ability to export the goods from Ukraine, and all of us know what is going on in Odessa, for example. We are not even talking about the Mariupol, Nikolaevsk, and the other seaports. As a close neighbor and one of the main Ukrainian partner in exchange of goods, we supposed to be, as a country, with Poland, we supposed to be the option to provide the necessity of export goods from Ukraine abroad. However, if you we will look at the map, we can see that despite the 530 kilometers from Ukraine, we do have also border with Belarus. Over 400 kilometers, we do have border with Lithuania, 102 kilometers, and of course the Kaliningrad Oblast on the north. And what is needed from the point of view of the companies, enterprises right now, is to give the to provide the logistics channels that might be channels of forwarding the goods from Ukraine to the Baltic Sea, to provide the connection, the economical connection, the exchange of goods for Ukraine to abroad. And unfortunately, and I guess it's something, we've got something common with our Lithuanian colleagues, but also with Latvian colleagues as well. We as a country, we haven't been really concentrated on providing the infrastructure for border operations on the Ukrainian side. All the necessary modernizations have been concentrated on that main forwarding cargo corridor, which is E20 and E30 railway lines from Russia or to Russia, from Russia via Belarus, Poland to Western Europe, and together with E30 corridor from Ukraine to Dresden in Germany. At the moment, we've got, of course, the LHS railway line, which is 400 kilometers railway line that goes to almost to Katowice, and it is one of the most western located point in Europe that can be that is accessible by the infrastructure 15-20 millimeters. However, the capacity of the border, rail border crossing points on the Polish-Ukrainian border, and especially the level, the effectiveness of infrastructure, railway infrastructure that runs from Ukrainian border to the center part of Poland is not really on that condition that should be, and that is expected by the logistics operators. So, in my opinion, firstly, so let me just touch all those 3 points that you mentioned, Alexander, as the moderator. Sustainability and green logistics is, of course, the right, the proper level of each mode of transport being sorry, I missed the word. I might say in Russian, just one expression. So правильное разложение, well, it's more, honestly speaking, it's more. Anyway, we've got approximately 18-19% of goods being transported in Poland and over 80% being transported by road transport. So that's why we do not say that we are ready for sustainability in manner of capacity of each mode of transport in our economy. First. Second thing is the current market conditions. We are okay, and this morning I joined the conference in Warsaw, where one of the very famous Polish professor from the best economic university in Poland, SGH, Professor Halina Brodulak, was presenting the results of her analysis of the logistics sector. She's working on that ranking for last 27 years. And what she found after analysis of the financial report of the over 200 companies from Poland, that 2021 was the best year for the level of income of Polish logistics company, and it never happened before that over 40% of the Polish logistics companies improved the financial достижения, finansowe położenie in 2021. So obviously speaking, we are as a market, Polish logistics market, we are okay. How long it will happen in the future? How long the situation will look the same? We will see. However, for now we are okay. And and about the skills and competences of young generation, those young people who are who should be ready for the needs of the market, in my opinion, but it's my private opinion. So once again, sorry if I will be offensive from the point of view of somebody. We supposed to provide for students not only the particular technical information subjects. We supposed to provide the general picture, because in logistics, the general picture, in my opinion, is absolutely on the same level of importance as particular operational, for example, skills of students. I believe that you cannot be professional logistics if you spend whole of your life in warehouse. Of course, warehousing is one of those important part of logistics, but we do have the whole supply chain, and we supposed to give to our students all information that are needed to have the whole picture of what is going on in nowadays economy, in international affairs, because that is what they supposed to have to be able to analyze. The skills of analysis is a different subject, and of course, each of us knows what challenges for us, universities, institutes, are nowadays. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jakub. I mean, very, very interesting view. And I think it's, as you mentioned, it's very important to give some professional or some realistic view and information to students, not to, let's say, not to focus only, let's say, on the theoretical approach, but also to see what's actually happening in the economy nowadays and how all the economical events and political events as well influencing the real daily operations of the companies, of logistics service providers, and the companies and the producers as well. So you mentioned that, let's say, I personally myself also from the professional experience, I know that the northern ports of Poland are really busy, if I may say so, nowadays, because a lot of goods are being delivered outside, coming in transit. So the same story goes with the Baltic ports like Klaipėda and Riga. It is indeed very difficult, at least according to my knowledge, as I'm mainly representing, let's say, the 3PL industry, but still it's quite a challenge to arrange some handlings for the containers, etc., because a lot of goods are being exported nowadays. Probably on this specific point, let's move further. If we look at, let's say, our guests from the industries today, we have two guests from the shipping, the container shipping industry, basically Sergey and Liana, and we also have two representatives from mainly road freight transportation. As we already touched this topic related to ports, the current capacities, etc. Probably I would ask container ships and Liana and CMA. Sergey, maybe let's start with Liana, the container ships. Let's just maybe combine two topics, two main topics altogether, the sustainability and the market changes and the trends in general. I know that you have also something to share with us today, so probably you could take the floor and give us some information. I can just briefly indicate the questions, the very specific questions that would be interesting for all of us to hear. Well, first of all, what is the, let's say, sustainability in your understanding, in your specific company, in your industry? What are the trends, or maybe there are some specific products or solutions that you are currently working on or just recently developed and proposed to the customers? And of course, speaking about the market and the transformation of supply chain, it would be really nice to hear your view. What's happening in the ports nowadays in Riga and Klaipėda? What are the challenges? And do you have any, let's say, experience and impact with the capacity, with the shortage of the materials, etc.? So basically, Liana,
Yes.
would you be
Yes,
able?
I could start. Yes, hello everyone once again. So I'm presenting container ships. I'm mostly all about the land transportation, not all about the vessels, but still I can tell you the current situation in logistic, like at sea and also intermodal. So I will share my screen. Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes, all is okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So a small view to our services. Basically, we are, I believe, we are the largest company for short sea services in Europe, and not only in Europe. Thanks a lot to our mother company CMA. My colleague Sergey will tell it about it. So basically, we are using the most Baltic seas if we are talking about Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. In Lithuania, it's Klaipėda. In Latvia, it's Riga port. And in Estonia, we are using Muuga port. The largest export ports it's Great Britain, it's Holland, Belgium, it's Spain, Denmark, and Norway. So basically, if we are looking for present year, it was like a two biggest one. It was a T-Sport in Great Britain, and it was Rotterdam. But nowadays the situation, thanks for fewer surcharges, if we're talking about trucking, that's why our prices are much more better than for truck deliveries. In this, if we are talking about this one, so that's why we are opening, and that's not opening the new destination, but those ports are becoming the largest one for us also. About import, it's T-Sport, it's Benelux, and yes, what we are transport from their part is mostly alcohol. You know, everyone that we've got a big crisis in Europe, because mostly all alcohol going via Latvia to Russian and these countries, and definitely we've got a leakage of import. If we can, I don't know, say numbers, it's approximately 19% less than it was in previous year. Sometimes it's happening, but still we need to find the new markets. But still, yes, that's why we start to import also spare parts, furniture, food for animals, steel products, because yes, previously it was delivered by railways from Russia, Belarus, and these to Baltic countries. Now it's delivered via us, but by containers from mostly from Europe. Okay, partly from China, but still, I believe my colleague will tell about it. But yes, still we are delivering in import steel from European Union. And export, it's still firewood, it's still peat. Definitely, we have a big increasement. Again, because we are mostly of countries that start to use lessly gas. That's why they need to get some warmth, and definitely they will use us as a provider, because again, we are cheaper, we are greener, we can load more, and you can load more in container. And still, yes, all about volumes. To find the truck in Latvia, I don't know, Estonia and Lithuania, I believe the same. You can't do it, but still, when you need to transport around 50 containers or 50 trucks per week, it will be a competition for you to find it, to even to pay, because yes, unfortunately, the price for purchasing truck increased for 17%, if you're talking about euros. If we're talking about Latvian flows, like if for our fuel charge is increased for 35% per truck. So I believe it's a big willingness. Why were we winning again? Because mostly of our whole ships are LNG powered. They are using liquid gas. Liquid gas we are also buying here in Europe, and if we are talking about generally in the world, so it's also in the American, US, yeah. Why? Maybe yes, if we are talking again about export and import, yes, if in previous year it was like 70% of export and 30% of import. Now it's like 95% of export and just 5% of import cargoes going to Latvia, Estonia. As I mentioned, yes, we are all about green. The green, to be greener, to be more polite to our planet. We're using a lot, our company are using a lot. We're buying only LNG shipments. We are using LNG trucks. LNG trucks we are using in UK, in Holland, in Finland. We are using a lot of train in Poland. We are losing a lot of train in Spain. And by the way, we are using also a train in a part of Estonia, delivered for I believe we are delivering around 13% of all shipments by rail in Estonia, the same. Unfortunately, we're not delivered them in Latvia. Yes, because of infrastructure, because of an possibility to load liquid gas for trucks in Latvia, and also all about the money. So something like this. Maybe you've got some question. I can tell a lot of everything. Just don't want to waste your time.
You just mentioned that basically those, as I understood, those last mile deliveries, even in Baltic countries, you are looking for the rail solution.
Yeah.
What's the current situation in the market with the container platforms just to do the last mile? Because I mean, I know what's happening with the road freight, with the trucking inside the Europe and the Baltics, and yeah, the situation is kind of interesting and challenging because of the balance, a huge imbalance, if I may say so, for the imports and exports. But what's the situation with the platforms?
If we are talking about deliveries inside our countries like Latvia and Estonia, no problems at all, because in Estonia we've got our rail provider who are booking slots for us. We are just sending them planning list, how much we do we need, and they just accordingly our wishes, they are planning platforms. If we are talking about outside countries, I cannot tell you anything because we stop our business to these countries and so on. Okay,
I see. And okay, maybe it's not really directly related to you, but still, there are some initiatives, let's say, in the European Union to switch at least long distance deliveries from trucking to rail.
Yeah.
I don't know, like at least 300 kilometers and more in upcoming future. From your perspective, because as you mentioned, you use rail solution in Europe, probably to connect from inland to ports that you are using. What is your view? I mean, should it be considered as some sort of the competition to road freight?
Definitely, definitely 100%, because we did it. We did it on October, November last year. It was all about UK when we've got like a capacity of our drivers. We just switched delivery by rail solution from port to rail to other port or to Liverpool, and after that we are just taken from the hub of Liverpool and delivered for smallest distances by trucks, and it helped us a lot. The same situation I know is in Spain because of blocking. They always want more money, more the better solution for jobs. So that's why yes, truck are always staying, and it's much more easier to use rail platforms.
So is it about, let's say, is it about the money, the cost savings, or more about capacity?
The same capacity, cost, and the same to be greener. As I mentioned it, to be green is the first of our mission. The first one, yes, of our whole mission in container ships and CMA-CGM Group at all.
Okay, sounds great.
I hope it will be.
Thanks a lot, Liana.
Yeah, thank you a lot for your attention.
Let's maybe proceed with CMA-CGM Group gradually. Sergey.
Yes, I can start. I will share my screen.
Sure.
All right. Here you go. I hope you see it, right?
Almost. Not yet.
Now you should see it. Are you able to see my screen?
No, we see you,
no,
Sergey.
Not yet.
Only me, yes. Okay, wait a second. I will try one more time. Here it is. Yeah. Share and
yeah, that's good.
Now you see it. Okay. So on the first main slide, you can see our main container ship, our main vessel, which is called Jacques Saade. Yes, and that's the name of the founder of the group. And it was the first, our LNG powered vessel. Yeah, our first container ship. You can see its capacity is 23,000 TEUs. Yeah, and it operates on the trade from Far East to North Europe and vice versa from North Europe to Far East. That's why its capacity really high. And as I said, it was the first vessel LNG powered. Yeah, it's an objective of the group to become carbon neutral as much as possible. So this vessel reflects our group's strategy as well. And going further, a little bit more information about ourselves. Yes, we are nearly represented in nearly whole the world, more than 100,000 employees all over the world. And you can see that we have both. We have vessels, we have warehouses. Yes, we have other lines, for example, container ships, which operates as a short sea operator in North Europe and Eastern Europe. And we also have our own forwarder as CEVA Logistics. Yes, and I can say all of them were acquired during the last 5 years, mostly, yes. And I can share some news with you. We have also made an agreement with Air France, yes, to arrange shipments by air, and some of the shares were also bought by CMA CGM. And we are really going further and growing larger year by year. Surely I can say that last year was really, without exaggeration, it was the best year of the group. Yes, and the best performance, which generated about $19 billion per year of net profit. Yeah, it's really understandable, because frankly speaking, the sea freight grew from $2,000, just as an example. Yes, if in 2019 we sold sea freight from main Far East ports to Riga about $2,300 per 40 feet container, then in 1 month it really became about $15,000. Yes, which allowed group to generate huge revenues, yes, huge income. And I can say it was a really nice year for every container operator, not talking about CMA CGM, we can talk about every. And yes, it allowed us to acquire some other different companies, yes, to move forward with different projects. I will talk about them a little bit later. And surely some investments were made to our group's partners like CEVA Logistics. You can see them here, who arrange shipments from door to door. Yes, the worldwide trend shows that you are not very interesting for the customer if you only provide one type of service, for example, port to port, like any other line. So lines decided to find a solution for that. For example, we know that Maersk said, okay, we will not work with the forwarders, we want to work with direct shippers and consignees. Yeah, there was such talk. Everything is understandable. We can say that everyone wants to generate an income, not only from the sea freight, but also from other operations like warehousing, like customs clearance, like deliveries, and so on and so on. So that's the point for the group of acquiring another companies, yes, another entering another markets like air markets, and so on and so on. Well, here are some actions that CMA CGM offers to their clients. Most of it is from door to door, yes, and everything is done so that people could address to one contact, and you get the full freight and the service from one person you're in contact with. And probably what I can tell more about is our green environmentally friendly projects. Yes, and let's say the group moves in that direction. Yeah, we want to be as much carbon neutral as possible. And there was a case, just as an example, there was a case when a customer came to our German office, if I'm not mistaken, it is BCO, and said, guys, we have, you know, that green production. Yes, we have environmentally friendly production. We want some solution which could help us to use also some environmentally friendly transportation. And the CMA CGM decided, okay, we have such solution, and LNG vessels were ordered. Yes, and some vessels were ordered with the special engines who could consume biofuel. I will talk about it a little bit later. And some projects were made when customer could pay some small amount, and for this small amount, it went to different funds, worldwide funds, yes, which invested in, for example, trees plantation and so on and so on. For here we have most of our three services. Yes, it's LNG. You can see that it helps to reduce an emissions for 25%. As I said on our first slide, it was a JAX-AD, the first vessel, yes, which allows us to use LNG powered fuel, yes, LNG fuel. Sure, it's let's say it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive, and the solution was found not only by buying it by ourselves. We found a solution to offer it as well as a cleaner energy biofuel. It's a little bit different, but still, we propose to buy this service to our customers. For example, if a customer shows that his production is environmentally friendly, then he can pay us and get a certificate that his cargo went on environmentally friendly fuel, yes, on LNG or on biofuel. And this certificate allows him to show to everyone that cargo was not only produced environmentally friendly, but also transported. And as I said in my first example, customers were interested in it. They could place stickers on their boxes saying it's 100 transportation environmentally friendly transported. And the solution was this cleaner energy LNG with the help of those earned money, and LNG is being bought. Yes, the same goes for biofuel. Biofuel is a, let's say, here is a perfect example. It's a used cooking oil. Yeah. And due to the fact that this process is pretty hard to arrange, it makes it expensive fuel. So still, there are customers who want to be environmentally friendly, yes, who want to be green, who really propose the solutions, who accept those solutions, and who pay for them to save the planet and to get benefit from it, saying that we are also environmentally friendly. And the last one, it's a positive offset. Yes, as I said, the money investments go to different funds, which allow us then to plant trees, for example, in Brazil, in China, in Romania, and so on and so on. So those are the main trends of recent market. Yes, environmentally friendly and door-to-door solutions. Also, I can tell you a short recap and overview about a recent situation, just like Liana said, just like Jakub said, yes, how it influenced us, and so on and so on. I can say for Latvia, for the group, that surely, as long as Latvia is a transit country, yes, we have 1.8 million people, we do not consume so much. And most of the import arrived from China. About everything you see in your markets arrived from China. And I can say that now, and it went further to Russia. now, as long as our group does not accept bookings that cargo goes further to Russia, it surely influenced our, let's say, volumes to Latvia, to Baltics. Yes, to Baltics, to Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia as well. Yes, surely there is a reduction. There is a reduction of volumes, and sure, we find some other solutions. We find a way out. I would say even not we, but our customers. Yes, our customers find a way out, like reloading the cargo at warehouses. Our customers use, instead of Baltic ports, some Black Sea ports like Georgian Poti or Turkish ports with further deliveries to Russia. So yes, the latest situation influenced us a lot. Like, sorry, previously it was about 1.5 years of COVID restrictions, yes, which influenced us and which allowed the sea freight to increase about 8 times per container. Yeah, so now we can see that this geopolitical situation influenced mostly Baltic ports. I cannot say that for the North Europe, yes, or for Latin America we're working with. So that's the situation we face right now. And let's say if the group does not have such impact from it, but for the Baltics, yes, we have such impact. Yeah, that's probably, that would be, yes, that would be all from my side, what I wanted to tell you. Just a short recap, and if you have any questions, please feel free, because we can talk about it a little bit more, and a lot more if we talk about it having a lot more time. Yeah.
I mean, thanks a lot, Sergey. You're totally right. We can we can talk a lot about this thing. And what personally myself, what I really like, and I totally support and agree with you, that nowadays integrated solutions in logistics for customers it's like a key. I mean, you are not interested as a logistics service provider, you're not interested to the customer, especially to the large international company, if you are not able to ensure, let's say, the full supply chain. So if you can take care only of the part of supply chain, it doesn't matter whether it is like only sea freight or only last mile or first mile. Most probably you will not be so, let's say, so interested. That's why, yeah, integration is indeed very, very actual. And I know that it's CMA CGM group, I mean, did a lot of investments last year and this year as well in obtaining large companies, and also e-commerce. I mean, the e-commerce in logistics is quite important, and I think it's good to have such knowledge and such opportunity in your portfolio, especially in Europe. Considering, well, the only question is more like practical question on, let's say, in your opinion, of course, as you mentioned that in last year, let's say your group had like very, very good financial results, and it is obvious basically since the start of pandemic, I believe that most of the shipping lines had this good opportunity to generate extra revenues and profits. What's the current situation with the capacities and pricing from Far East to Europe, and for how long would you foresee or forecast, let's say, the deficit or the lack of capacities in containers? Should it be this year, next year, maybe even longer? What do you think?
Well, let's say that when the pandemic started, we all thought, okay, 1 month, 2 months, and so that would be all. Yeah, so then it went to first quarter, second quarter, and it ended up, it still hasn't ended. Yes, our sea freights are about $10,000 from Far East. They are not reaching those before the pandemic levels. Yes, when it was about 2,000. Yeah, it's still about $10,000. So I can say that each time when you think that, oh, the market goes to its last form, yes, previous form, then something happens. For example, the last example would be the Shanghai port closure, yes, when from China nothing was working and those factories weren't shipping anything. That's the point. On the other hand, we can see that the huge US market consumes a lot, and you know that Trans-Pacific routing is the main for any line, yes, from, let's say, China to US ports, mostly to Los Angeles, and they're stuck out there usually, and which makes you know, like the deficit of containers, like we've seen the last year, pretty much the same we see now. If the space is available, we can see the lack of containers in China recently. Yeah, and to get them is a really tough struggle. Now you should place the booking in advance, but the container will be provided about 4 days or 7 days, depends on the line, before the vessel departure. I can say that a recent situation shows that there is a lack of containers in China ports. Yeah, and the bookings are being canceled by our line, by other lines, and so on. And I cannot tell you when to expect the situation to end, because, as I said, just like previous year, we thought, okay, 1 month, 2 months, and that would be enough. No, it went for about, now it's the second year, yeah, probably of such situation. So I'm pretty sure that the high rates and the lack of capacities we will see during, I'm pretty sure during this year as well. So I cannot foresee the rates to get lower, and everyone understands that it influences our, you know, like our income. I mean, like simple people, yes, when we go to the shops, we understand that this high prices are also made by such transportation rates. And as for the last information, I can say that we expect for US government and for European governments in about in summer to increase their you know, like rates, yes, banking rates, which will also influence, for example, US consumers, and probably it will lead also to some decrease in consuming from USA. Then we will see what it will lead to worldwide, how it will influence us as well. And everything, I can say that during the last 3 years, something in the world happens each half of year. Yeah.
It's the reality we're living in, indeed. Okay, thanks a lot once again for the presentation. I think that's really, really interesting to learn what's happening globally in the shipping industry. I would suggest to a little bit switch to another area. We have Kirill from Milo Logistics. It's a different, a little bit activity. As I know, you are guys mostly dealing with the road freight, with consolidation services. Would you like to share your point of view, the same on these topics, the sustainability topics? What's happening in your industry, in your company, and what projects are you currently focusing on?
Yes, hello once again, dear colleagues, dear professors, dear guests of discussion. I am a sales specialist of company Milo Logistics. And first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really glad that our partnership becomes stronger and stronger. And yes, our clients, our customers are also oriented onto full supply chain service, and sometimes even some special service, for example, Let's take a case of delivery from the United States, from Texas to Balkans, but through our partners warehouse in Riga for some special labeling. So it's like super interesting way for solution. Yes, and about our main 3 points. So first point is sustainability and green logistics. We are a freight forwarding company, so the way of making our logistics more green is like choosing our partners with more green ways for our part of the logistics solution. Yes, about market, the situation is, yes, for sure, very interesting. Currently, the market, the European market, is overstocked with cargo, and we can observe like the lack of vehicles. It's significantly increases the prices for transportation and the prices for warehousing service. And at the moment, we can feel it very hardly because let's comparing like the beginning of the autumn and current times. So let's take an example of route Netherlands to Baltics to Riga, for example. For one truck, it was something around 1,000 euros, and current prices are 5-6 times higher than previously. So yeah, we can feel a lot, and our customers feel the difference in prices a lot. The most important thing for our customers now is not even the prices, it's the opportunity to deliver their cargo with maximum quality of service and the most reliable way. So we trust each other on the same level. We trust our customers trust us. That's the way it works. And what can I say about market situation more? About for how long these prices will be at such high point, it's really hard to predict. I guess in current 2, 3, 4 months, the prices will be at the same level or a little bit more, a little bit higher, because like it's really hard to predict when market will change to better prices. Yes, about our third point is skills and competences of current days professionals. So our goal is to make our clients happy. So we are a client-oriented company. We work not for quantity, we work on the quality. That is why we have constant clients that work with us for 6 years. So it's kind of stable case. So the main 3 parts are understanding the logistics, communication skills, and have experience. If we take out one of these 3 parts of this chain, it is like almost impossible to achieve our goals with maximum service and maximum profitability of the transportation. What can I say about competence? The first of all, it is business state of mind. So logisticians should know what is profit can come from. So they need to know the picture in general. So to make their part of job like in a good way. The second one, in current days, I guess it is one of the most important things is perfect communication skills. So it means logistician should know how to speak on each level. Doesn't matter when he speaks with directory, he need to know like individually how to speak with top managers, with directory. The same with clients, he need to know how to deliver information about clients' cargo in the right sheets. It is also service level, and he need to know how to do it. And the same for example, transport companies managers and warehouses managers. It is really important to know how to speak properly to achieve their local goals. Yes, and secondly, yes, it's customer service. One part is to speak with them properly. Second part, to make sure they are not worried about any aspect of their transportation. They sure that their cargo is safe in right hands and it's going through their route, their plant. And all the necessary service for the cargo is performed and everything is fine. Then in our case, we're, like I also told you, we're quality, yes, quality oriented, and that is one of the main like characteristics of our personnel. So we all should, my logistics should be all quality oriented, and our slogan is "We care about your cargoes." So we need to represent this slogan. Yes, and two more things. The first one is teamwork and monitoring of current news about transportation market, because we have changes every week, if not every day. So teamwork is like very important thing, because you need to speak with your colleagues. They can help to achieve your common goal of your total supply chain much more faster and efficient, with more quality than you can do it by your own. Yes, what I wanted to say, maybe you have some questions about current situation, maybe.
I have slightly different, I mean, what you have described indeed is, let's say, the true story that especially 3PLs and road freight companies are experiencing nowadays. But I have slightly different question to you, as far as I know that basically your company are quite active and expanding and developing. How would you evaluate, let's say, the current labor market in Latvia, in Baltics in general? I mean, what's missing? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you have a chance, let's say, to see what are the competences of people who just, for example, graduated from universities and joined the companies, the international companies, what's missing, or what should be, let's say, what should be done differently, studied differently, or everything is fine? What's your opinion on this point?
I'm graduated from National Aviation University in Kyiv, and now I'm finishing my master's degree in Transport and Telecommunication Institute and I want to say that education, I guess, needs more practical skills, needs to provide more practical skills for students. Like, in my opinion, it is better to give students, let's take my example. I'm like at the Faculty of Transport and Logistics, and in my case, I found my logistics as my first of all place for practice. It is freight forwarding company, and I learned about logistics like in general. I know now I know that logistics can be different. It's road logistics, sea logistics, warehouse logistics, etc. And I can find myself in different fields of logistics. I guess students need to know, like, the way they can put their knowledge in their specialty. Where can they apply excuse me, this knowledge in the world? It will be easier for them from the bachelor level to understand which way they want to choose for their like future development. And that's my point.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I think we still have a little bit of more time, and I see that actually we have a colleague, Ivan Demidov from Food Union. If you are with us, and if you could tell us if you have the opportunity to speak a little bit, because it's how to say, it's a slightly different point of view. It's more about, let's say, the production side. So we would really appreciate if you could share your experience on, let's say, the current topicalities or the trends from your perspective in your company, and how do you see, let's say, the impact of transportation market, of the energy in general on your activities and your company?
Hello. Sorry for my English, it's not so perfect like colleagues. And thank you to invite on this meeting. I start not from the beginning, I just participate half of it. That's why not all information I fully include during the discussion. Answering on your question, I would say that we now we are split our business in our food production company. We are separate logistical as a separate business. And we decided that we can use our transport logistics at our opportunity to deliver last mile to all clients for other clients. Then we start to make 3 or even 4PL logistic service with different clients in our company. So if you're talking about some tendencies, we see that in Latvia and I think in all over the world, more important now start warehouse topic. We see significantly increase frozen food. Frozen food part of business increased significantly, and we see that Latvia have a critical limit of warehouse square meters for storing frozen food production. That's a general problem. For example, now we have 8 warehouses near the Riga to store our foods. You can imagine which one logistics, transport and warehouse logistics we have, how difficult to manage it, because our flow of logistical flows of this operators between this warehouse very difficult, really difficult. That's one general problems. Second general problems is personnel. We have limit of personnel. We have problems also with young specialists. So we need people who can fully involved in logistics, who can take responsibility, who can continue, let's say, logistic ideology. That's the second point. What I can mention. Third point is this ecological topic, but now in Latvia almost no infrastructure for that. We can tell a lot about what we would like to have in future about ecological points, but no infrastructure. That's true. That's why what we see now, this all transport company and dealers who provide ecological transport, electricity or gas, it's just not about business, it's about promotion. So what I can say, what feelings we have in our company. Let's ask whatever you want to ask.
Basically, for me, sure, Lena, go ahead.
Can I ask? Yes, hello, Van. First of all, I would like to know regarding, you are mentioning it regarding new employees. I know that a lot of warehouses are closed due to situation because they are using, because of repacking alcohol and labeling. do you think it will help you somehow maybe to find another person, so another staff?
With which topic you mean?
I mean, no, it will help to find another good specialist employees. Because I know that most of people from warehouses, they lost their jobs, and I know a lot of good specialists for a custom specialist, a warehouse specialist, and so on.
Yeah, if we find some people from the market, it will be nice. I can tell you, we are develop our logistics during last 2 years from production logistics just for milk and ice cream to 4PL operator.
Yeah.
Now we are, for some clients, we are ordering, we are purchasing even for some clients another goods to our warehouse,
Yeah.
and then we make distribution and make a full service for distribution via the Latvia. And when I try to find young people who can support me with this business, who can support with the changes, the general thing not about the qualification of people.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Question about motivation and question about approach. If I heard some questions, what you need as a producer from young people, I need approach. I need constructive structure approach. Then people who come from the institute can understand how to solve problem. And then this important things, standard problem solving process. This is one of the general things what business really needs from
I'm totally agree with you, and the same problem is everywhere. Yes, when you are like a job provider, as we are. But the main problem is also that they do not know any problems to solve them. That's why we need to get our experience, to get our wishes and our views, and maybe yet to teach them. The same is with the clients. I believe that it's a new stage in logistics when we are just educate our clients, as you say. You were just like a warehouse and production of ice cream. Now you are 4PL providers. But still, yes, I believe also that maybe, yes, for a lot of people who are losing their jobs, maybe it will be a good point for us to find a new employees, and very, very positive employees. So I wish you this one.
Thank you.
Alexander, can I say a few words?
Of course. Sure,
Yes,
sure.
I think absolutely great discussion, because on one side, we think that we need to provide the knowledge to our students. No, I agree fully with Juliana. We need to provide more important critical thinking for them. But I absolutely agree with the ones that we need also give them some vision of possible problems in their working place. So for it, we absolutely needed in your involvement in our program, like guest lectures, like a company who provide the internship, yes, who organize some specific, I don't know, maybe hackathon for our logistics students. Yes, Alexander, can we organize some hackathon for our food union, for example, or something like this? Yes, why not? Yes, and when they will see the real problem, and when they will have some idea how to organize brainstorming, where they can see some best practice, how they can adopt this best practice from the Netherlands and other country, yes, to Latvia. I think it will be the great training for them, not like academical training, like real case training, yes, with some academical background.
Yes, I will continue. Sorry. I'm totally agree with you, because we are those people who can add and implement our knowledges to help to our students, to our new employees. I'm totally with you, agree with you, because I was a guest lecturer in November. Yes, I believe so, Alexander. It was really amazing. So please spend your time, spend your day, share it with students, because they would like to know what we are doing. They would like to know our knowledges. They would like share their vision of logistics, and you can just give them your vision, because we are spending so many years to start to understand everything in logistics. I'm in logistics 15 years, so basically I believe that I got some knowledge to share. So yeah, please, everyone, just be free, and definitely you need to find some time and share your knowledges.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, that's what I got back from students all over our university is, you know, guest lectures are so valuable. They learn so much of it. And I must say we're really good in that. You know, there's a lot of logistic companies in our area in the North Seaport and the Port of Rotterdam that are guest lecturing well on a daily basis in our program. You know, when I started 2 years ago as being a lecturer, there were like those management games, which is it's not real. You know, those management games, you do not. Well, they're not. My personal opinion is that it doesn't help much. It's much more fun for students to solve real life problems, and the benefits also from guest lecture is that there's also a connection between the students that are becoming employees later on, and we have an enormous shortage of labor in the Netherlands. It's unbelievable. So every person that graduates from our logistics course, you know, they're a king in the market, you know. So and if you guest lecture, there's a connection with students as well. So it's beneficial for both.
Okay, thanks a lot, really. In my opinion, it was a very great discussion, and I think that unless you have any other ideas or topics to discuss, but I suppose we have, at least I saw in the chat that some of you have already exchanged your contacts. This is the right thing how to do, actually. In logistics, it's all about the communication and sharing the information, right? I suppose that we have covered a lot today, different interesting topics, and we are just in time to finish the event. So from my side, I would like to thank all of you for the participation, for your interest, for your input. And once again, on behalf of the university, I would really appreciate your participation in the guest lectures, in giving the opportunities for our students to maybe visit your places, your offices, warehouses, production sites, whatever. It would be a great pleasure. And for sure, we have your contacts, and together with colleagues, we will get in touch with you again about these ideas in future. So yeah, I mean, from my side, I don't have anything more to add. Maybe any extra comments from your side. Otherwise, yeah, thanks a lot once again. I wish all of you a very productive end of the week. My contacts, of course, let me quickly type them in the chat. So while I'm typing them, as I said, thanks a lot for the participation, and for sure we keep in touch.
Okay, thank you so much,
you.
dear Alexander. Thank you so much for very, very interesting discussions, dear guest. And I hope we include all your advices in our program, in our strategy of our faculty. Thank you so much. Your Dean of the faculty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Thanks.
All good, and
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
nice rest of the day. Bye bye.
Oh, bye.